And kinesthetic representations of reflection are my very favorites because they include everybody. Everybody can be included. So you all know the simple one, thumbs up, thumbs down, right? So you're doing something, you say thumbs up if you got that, thumbs down if it's not making sense yet. Related to that, I do a lot of five-finger surveys. Okay, so I tell kids, there are machines for doing this, but we don't have them, we're poor. But we have fingers, so we're going to do a five-finger survey. Sometimes I use my five-finger surveys like Likert scales when I want to find out what kids like and what they don't like. Sometimes I use them to get kids to reflect on content we've just been over. And sometimes I use them at the beginning. I'm often kind of parachuted into a class I've never seen before, and I have very little time to do something, and I have to get some kind of read on what they know or don't know. So a few years ago, I was doing a lot of work with laptops and different kinds of learning and what kids were doing. So I would be suddenly in a classroom in Sudbury that I'd never been in before, in a school that I could not find by myself ever. And I needed to get some information from the kids, and they were not, I didn't want to give them a survey. That feels, again, to a lot of kids like more punishment. It's more reading and writing, right? So I explained that we're going to do five-finger surveys, and when I propose an idea, if it absolutely makes sense to you, if you think it is the greatest thing ever, you hold up five fingers. While you're doing this, you have your eyes covered, because I don't want you to be influenced by anybody else's fingers. And if it makes no sense, you hate it, you don't understand it, you don't get it, you hold up your fist. It's not an angry fist, it's just a fist that says, I got nothing. And if it's a little bit more than the full thing, then you would do four fingers. If it's kind of in the middle, you could do three or two. And I started in Sudbury in this particular school by saying, okay, so close your eyes now. How do you feel about the Maple Leafs? And it's just like a forest of five fingers, except for the two kids who have, who are Montreal Canadian fans. But we laugh about it. And that's non-threatening, right? Who couldn't do that? And we go on from there, like how do you feel about indoor recess? If you live in places like Sudbury, whether or not you have indoor recess is a really big determinant of how your schooling is going. Because indoor recess means it's too cold to go outside, which means you have a whole school full of people who have all this energy that, you have kids and teachers just going nuts. And so everybody is doing this for indoor recess. Nobody likes indoor recess. So I can go through all kinds of things that don't mean a lot. Then we eventually get around to the laptops. So now I'm going to mention several programs that you're using. It's going to be a five-finger survey. Remember, don't look. And in about a minute and a half, I can ask 12 questions. For me to do a written survey of 12 questions, even if they're just ticking, with 35 young pre-adolescents, it would take an hour. It takes no time at all, and they think we've been playing. And I'm walking away with the information I need. Simultaneously, I've been teaching them that they need to think about what's going on and how it's working for them. Like how are you feeling about? So sometimes my question is, how confident are you about using each of these? How helpful is each of these in your learning? Sorry. I think earrings don't work very well with this. So I'm always looking for new ways to do things. We do color coding. I've worked with little kids where we did jumping to show how we thought things were going. Right? So if you really, really, really understood and liked the piece that we just finished, jump 3 times. If it's something you think that I should talk about some more, that's my friend helped Miss Gregory get an A. It's all on me. It's not about them. then you just sit still and don't jump. Well, everyone wants to jump, so we get a positive response from the beginning. But you can do, all of these are just about how you communicate reflection. And it's incredibly important with kids not to confuse their communication of how they're thinking, feeling, learning, doing with the real thing. So I can write a beautiful reflection about anything you want. Name the topic. I can write one that would, if you had a rubric, be a 5. That doesn't mean I'm reflecting. It just means I'm teacher-pleasing. I know lots of words. So there are lots of forms that we can use for self-assessment. Sorry. There are lots of forms we can use. This is a list of some. Have a look at that and see if you can find 5 that you have used, and tell the person next to you. This is a talking time. You can talk.